Good afternoon, dear friends. My name is Sergey Kornilov. I'm an active partner of DigiU.Voice. And today I will share with you the opportunity that DigiU opens up for you personally. Today we will talk about many topics about what DigiU does. Well, and most importantly, we will talk about how you can profit from global developments in the field of artificial intelligence and blockchain technologies. And how can DigiU help you? Well, before we move on to such deep concepts as blockchain and artificial intelligence, let's talk on this topic. What sources of income do you have? Let's answer these questions. Most people today, let's face it, they either work for hire, having some kind of good profession, or they have their own business. Of course, these two strategies cover a total of more than 90% of people. It's very important to touch upon each of these financial development strategies, So let's talk about pros and cons of these strategies. For example, what are the advantages of these two? The first is confidence in the future. Yes, when a person is a specialist, professional, he does his job with pleasure, visit his office, workplace every day, and of course, such person, he is confident in the future. He knows that tomorrow he will receive his guaranteed salary. And own business. When we talk about it, it is a destiny of those people who are able to make decisions on their own, who are ready to run their own business. And every businessman will say that business is a certain risk. And of course, when we talk about business, there's also confidence that you will achieve the results that you have planned for yourself on your own. But business is always a risk. And when we talk about the future, we must understand that times are changing, business conditions are changing, and there are risks. Yes, owning a business is the most attractive strategy, but unfortunately, it's not available to everyone, because not everyone can take responsibility and can create their own business. Let's talk about the cons. Of course, when we talk about work for hire, the first and I would say the main disadvantage is the salary corridor. What is this? It is a certain limit in the salary of which you can achieve in a particular profession. Today, I'm sure that many experts in their fields are present at the webinar today, and I think that each of you, when he reaches some top of his profession, he hits that limit of salary. And it's necessary to make a choice here. Either he resigns himself and remains at that place at the level of financial income, or he starts to change something in his life. Well, another big minus is pension. I recently read an article about how to prepare for retirement. Well, I would agree with it, especially if we are talking about commonwealths of independent states. We have quite low pensions here. Then, when a person approaches retirement age, he must take care of his pension. And the salary corridor, just the salary on which he used to live, when the person retires, his income decreases several times. Own business is lack of free time. It is perhaps the main disadvantage of those who have their own business. One of the most important resources that we have in our life is our time. And as famous and rich people say, rich is not the one who has a lot of money, but the one who has a lot of free time. If we compare these people who have a salary or their own business, of course, we can surely say who of them is rich in terms of this important criterion as time. And lack of social guarantees. In business, each person takes responsibility for himself and for his or her actions. When working for hire, a person has certain social guarantees. Of course, we will talk about the third strategy. It is investment. Investment is a strategy that not many people in the world follow, but investments are becoming more and more popular every year, every day. Today, we have a lot of tools on the market that could introduce us into the field of investment. And when we talk about investments, it is quite important to understand the main rules of investing. Let's look at an example and figure out how to invest properly. Let's imagine that there are two people, an engineer and a programmer, Ivan. The engineer has a fairly high qualification, having studied at the institute. He got a job, and this job allows him to receive somewhere around $1,000 per month, $1,000. And if we are talking about commonwealths of independent states, it's an average salary for engineers. And we have Ivan, who has his own idea. And now, in order to realize it, he needs to attract investors who can help him develop his idea. And the first person, engineer, he collected $10,000. And when these two people met, Ivan proposed his idea. The engineer really liked the idea, and he was ready to invest in this idea to develop his proposal. Time passes, Ivan makes profits, his application began to work successfully, and the monthly profit from such an application is about $50,000. Ivan pays the investor $5,000 per month and leaves $10,000 for himself. An engineer works for a wage, working only for hire and receiving a stable salary of $1,000. An engineer naturally has his own dreams, and in order to realize dreams, a person working for hire takes much more time than a person who decided to go to the area of investments. What are the goals of a regular person? To buy his or her own house, buy a car, give a good education to children, and of course, traveling. These are all basic needs, which is principle where every person dreams of. But let's recap. Why do people generally invest? Let's take a look at the category of people who have decided to go into the territory of investment in order to raise their standard of living. Of course, to reach financial goals faster, to create reserve fund or financial cushion that will allow a person to easily overcome some kind of crisis and prepare for retirement. And the main purpose of investment is to free up personal time. People go to invest to have more free time. Time is our most important resource. But what if the investment fails? Friends, this happens. When we talk about investments, we should remember that there are no guarantees in investments. And there are moments when such engineers, which we talked about today, they go into the red or even lose money. How to protect yourself from such a situation? What should you do before you start investing? There is a golden rule of diversification. When you have decided to become an investor, you must take care to calculate and find several tools that will allow you to minimize your risks. To do this, you need several instruments, one of which can show 1% of profit, the other can go negative. But in the end, the main purpose of investing is to preserve your capital. Let's go back to that engineer. He needs to invest his $10,000 in a wide diversification method. Today we will talk about DigiU company, which opens up huge opportunities for you in the investment market. Specialists create various technologies who are working in the company. Another part of the team is working on their commercial success. Others are developing new directions, negotiating, participating in various conferences where they promote their developments. Well, the collective activity of the team is aimed primarily at making profit. Any business and the goal of any business aimed at making profit, and the unicity of the DigiU model lies in the fact that the crowd investing system allows a regular person to buy shares of the company and become its co-owner. When we buy shares in the company, we automatically become a co-owner of that company and become the main beneficiary of the company's profits. Yet today, you can buy shares of the company and receive dividends twice a year. See financial reports on profits, expenses, and financing of certain products. You can use the company's products, and one of DigiU's flagship products is DigiU.Voice. This is the first, most successful commercial project. DigiU.Voice, which has been giving monthly stable returns for its cryptocurrency investors for about 2 years now. Of course, here you will ask why you need to invest in cryptocurrency. We won't be able to fully delve and dive into this topic now, but one should know that the history of cryptocurrency has started 15 years ago. And all these 15 years, people who have deeply understood blockchain, cryptocurrency, invested in Bitcoin, in Ether and USDT, and receive monthly profits. It is this opportunity that our flagship product DigiU.Voice can give you. Let's take a look at a simple example. What profit the investment can show? For example, in the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Let's imagine that 4 years ago, in 2018, you invested in Bitcoin, purchased the cryptocurrency and put it, for example, on 1%, one interest. Well, let's calculate. In 2021, when Bitcoin reached its historical maximum, it reached the figure of $60,000. Then with such an increase, you would have earned $90,000. If you were to buy 30,000 worth of Bitcoins and put it at one interest, approximately in 3 or 4 years, you will get $90,000. $100,000. Do you agree the numbers are impressive? Sure. So here is a question. Why didn't we invest? That's what the educational platform DigiU Education is for. Yet today you can connect to our community, register and study at DigiU Education for free, where there are 6 courses on the basics of financial literacy, blockchain, and artificial intelligence. It is where there are answers to all the questions that we are talking about today. Even today, you can become a licensed partner. So what is a licensed partner? If you want to create an additional source of income and start a new interesting engagement, you can become a licensed partner of the company and start promoting the DigiU ideas around the world. Become a leader, gather your team, gather your partners, travel with a company of like-minded people, and of course, to acquire new skills and get acquainted with partners of the company from different countries. In order to become a licensed partner, you can register in the DigiU ecosystem today and ask the person who invited you to this webinar today to tell you more about it. So how to become a co-owner of the company? What do I need to do? Well, firstly, you should register at the site and buy shares. There are many options for shares packages in your personal account. By the way, you can buy any package on installments, so it's not necessary to pay that entire amount at once. You can buy an installment. Well, how to use the site, how to activate DigiU.Voice, how to access training, education, where you can study company documents, how to activate partner licenses, and so on. The person who invited you to this webinar today will help you to figure out these questions. DigiU has a community of over 100,000 people. Of course, those courses, those information resources that you will see on the screen, they are already available to you today. And you can study the possibilities of DigiU company in more detail on any information resource. Of course, we have a powerful support team ready to answer any of your questions. Today you can register, ask those questions that you have during this webinar, and after some waiting for an answer, you can absolutely understand everything. Well, let's talk about financial prospects that our company has. For the last half an hour, we have been talking about what has already been developed in the company, what tools generate income. Well, before we talk about what will happen, we'll talk about what was. When the company started, with a briefly touch on what is already there, and we will already talk about the future of the company. There is a client chat created, and DigiU products have been created and are already working today. Initially, DigiU company put forward such an idea that you need to create a metaverse in which any person can enter. And for do this person should have a digital avatar. Now the entire internet is moving toward the fact that a person will be digitized. And already many companies are creating apps like DigiU.Voice or DigiU.Vision. These applications that help to create a digital identity, such as how to digitize a voice or how to determine how artificial intelligence can determine the name of an IT. All this is necessary in order to create a digital personality. But since a digital personality once created, it needs to be placed somewhere. And the company is now developing a metaverse. The company already has an IC registration number, which can already today allow you to transfer your shares into securities. Of course, I will repeat once again that there is a learning platform, DigiU Education, where you can start learning today and start learning topics such as cryptocurrency, blockchain, decentralized finance, and many other topics. A commercially successful DigiU product has already been created. It is DigiU.Voice. It is a product that monthly brings its investors profit in the region of 1.5% to 2%. And today you can become and invest your first funds in such a product. Basically, DigiU.Voice is a kind of trigger for launching the rest our company's tools. It is the tool that brings real money. DigiU itself, DigiU.Voice, is a farming fund which is based on such a type of income as farming. What is farming? How does it work? And how you can make money on it yourself? The company has prepared a special course for you, which is available on your DigiU platform education. Once you have completed this course, you will be able to farm on your own or trust your funds to this DigiU.Voice, and receive stable yield in the region of 1.5% to 2%. Of course, one cannot miss the fact that our community and our company already unite more than 100,000 partners. 183 countries and 12 languages, quite impressive numbers. We have partners in different countries, especially active partners in Asian countries. And the company cannot but boast that it has paid dividends to its shareholders 4 times already. And at the second successful project, which is already ready to be released, which is already ready to be a second successful project, which is already ready to be released and launched, is AWA, Cross-Chain Protocol. What is the Cross-Chain Protocol? Cross-Chain Protocol AWA is such an application or tool that will allow many people who are investing in the field of blockchain or artificial intelligence to simplify many tasks. According to many experts, AWA is already a potential unicorn in a cryptocurrency market. That is, this is the instrument that, after release in mainnet, is already estimated at more than $1 billion. Well, let's talk about 4 stages of development of DigiU company. The company has chosen strategy according to which it will develop in the next 3-5 years. The first stage is called increase in dividend payments. Today we have already talked about the fact that DigiU.Voice is our flagship product, which allows you to receive not only profitability today, but also receive dividends for shareholders. And the percentage of dividends payments and the percentage of yield on customer accounts directly depend on this product. The second very important stage of development is the creation of your own venture fund. The next stage and the third and fourth depend on this stage of development. What is a venture fund? It is a venture that will raise funds so that the company can invest in its developments. After all, the third and fourth stages are directly related to the creation of metaverse and with digitalization of personality and many other projects. In order for the company to complete these projects, it needs its own IT park. That is why the third stage of the company's development is the creation of its own IT park. So 4 stages: growth of dividends, venture fund, creation of an IT park, and the metaverse. These are the goals towards which we are moving forward as a team. And of course, special offers. After listening to today's webinar, I'm sure that there will be a lot of people who want to join our community, invest funds, buy DigiU shares, and already make their first investments in our DigiU Wealth investment project. So here is a special offer for you who will watch this webinar today and write to our support that today, after this webinar, I decided to register and create my personal account. You report this to our technical support, and automatically you will have 20% of the amount of the acquired shares. Dear friends, we value your time, we value our time, and of course, we value our partners, and we are interested in our community growing all over the world. We are ready to help you and develop together with you. In order to make it easier for you to start developing in our company, today you can go to resources such as YouTube, Instagram, and the community that the company has formed in the Telegram and join us. I'm pleased to share these opportunities with you today, and I'm sure that we will see you at the next company events. See you soon.